Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today to do my end of month video, my sort of what have I been up to video, looking back at February 2025. So I've got a sort of little format of what I want to talk about. Hopefully it won't take too long. I want to talk about what I've been up to, what's been going on for me, decks that I bought and worked with in February, sort of books and TV and YouTube type stuff, my plans for March, and then right at the end I've got some new decks to show you. I've got, how many? I've got 4 new decks to show you. 2 which were lovely gifts actually. So yeah, I've been wanting to do this video for a few days, to be honest, but I've just been so unwell the last couple of weeks. I think many of you will know I've got fibromyalgia, and I normally cope, relatively well with that, but I stopped my HRT last year, sort of the end of November. I'd been gradually cutting it down and cutting it down and cutting it down, and I finally stopped it in November of last year. And I've just been feeling dreadful really ever since, just gradually worse and worse and worse. And some of it is pain. It's coming off HRT seems to have upset all my joints. Even my hands hurt some days. But more than anything, it's just been the sleep deprivation. It was hot flushes at night time which made me start on HRT in the first place. And I really hoped after 5 years of being on it that when I stopped it, those really debilitating hot flushes would have gone away, but they haven't. They've come back in full force, and it just seems that I don't sleep for any more than sort of an hour or 2 at a time, and I wake up and I've soaked the bed, my heart is racing. It's just awful. It's just absolutely awful. I can cope with the hot flushes during the day because, you can take layers off, you can fan yourself, there's all sorts you can do. But at night time, the biggest awful thing really is that if I soak the bed, I then get cold and I start shivering, and then I can't go back to sleep. So I put my electric blanket on, and then if I fall asleep with my electric blanket on, I overheat again, and it's just hideous. And the last week or 2 I've really felt very poorly actually, and I'm seeing the doctor next week to talk about it. And I've also noticed that I've been very dizzy, and I checked my blood pressure and my blood pressure is very low. So I've nearly been falling over at night time when I get up for a wee, and I've really not been able to do very much, especially this last week. I've been really quite poorly. So yeah, I'm glad actually just to be sat down doing this video. As you can tell, I've got brain fog. I'm finding it hard to concentrate, and yeah, it's all a bit much really. It's really affecting my quality of life at the moment. So I've tried all sorts of natural remedies to help me sleep. I've used nitols and calms and sort of antihistamine type drugs, big mugfuls of chamomile tea, valerian tea at night time, and all these things help me get off to sleep quite easily. And you'd think being so exhausted I'd sleep, but an hour later and I'm awake again. And then I'm staggering about because I'm zonked out on, valerian tea, and I've even bought some CBD oil, and it's really relaxing, but it still doesn't help me sleep for any more than an hour or two. I had to stop HRT because of fears and risks around breast cancer, because my mum's had it twice. And also I'd been on it 5 years, and I just felt it was enough. And since I've stopped it, I've started using this sort of natural bioidentical cream called Serenity from a company called Wellsprings, and it does help, but not enough, not consistently, and not enough really. But it's kind of better than nothing, so I'm persevering with that. But yeah, it's making me feel quite down, actually, if I'm honest, because you know that no one can tell me when it will stop. I don't know when it's going to stop, so yeah. But anyway, that is enough of that. That's been me really throughout most of February. If you've been watching my channel, you'll have seen me talk about these decks here quite a lot. Let's look at these first. I've got some that came with that. No, that came with that, didn't it? I've got a video looking at these 3 decks, you know, doing a walkthrough of the 3, comparing the 3, and I've worked with the Robin Hood Tarot since I bought it in January, I think, and I absolutely love it. It's become one of my firm favourites, and I've got a few videos looking at the Robin Hood Tarot, so yeah. So yeah, sorry, I had to pause that. The cat was crying, I'm not sure why. And it's just prompted me. I even wrote a list, you know, of the things I wanted to talk about, and I forgot about this. The lovely Masha at Musings by Masha has started another tag, and I think, without looking at my phone, I think it's called deck of the month, and then there's going to be a deck of the year. So I'm going to include this video in that, because the Robin Hood Tarot is my deck of the month, and it was my deck of the month for January as well. I didn't discuss that in my last video, as I don't think Masha had sort of started the tag by then, but this Robin Hood Tarot has been my deck of the month for 2 months, and it could easily be my deck of the month for March as well, but I'm going to force myself to put it aside and work with something else. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything too much about it. If you look at my other videos where I've done readings with this and discussed it and compared it with other decks, you'll see what my love of this deck is and why it was my deck of the month for 2 months. So but I will add that hashtag to this video, because I want the Robin Hood Tarot to be included in my monthly videos. And then I think the idea is that at the end of the year, maybe out of the 12 decks of the months, that you pick your favourite and that's your deck of the year. But I'm not entirely sure, and I don't trust my brain at the moment. So yeah, so these are the decks that primarily I've worked with, really. And I was pairing. I also had been sort of reading where I could these 2 books throughout February, but my concentration and focus is appalling at the moment. I read a fair bit of the Robin Hood Tarot even with my daily pulls, and really enjoyed it, but I didn't get round to the Cosmic Tarot book particularly, so hopefully that will be for another day. And I was pairing, in February, I was pairing the Robin Hood Tarot with the Old Ways Magic Oracle, which again you'll probably have Oops, that was a bit noisy, wasn't it? You've probably seen on my channel this beautiful deck by Naomi Cornuck. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So yeah, I put it back in order for the video that I did, but I did use this a fair bit. It seemed to go really well with the Robin Wood Tarot. In fact, I'll show you quickly. Hang on. And this deck, again, I've put back in its order for the comparison video that I did. So it's not that I haven't been working with it, because I have a lot. But I just think it goes really, really nicely with the Old Ways Magic Oracle. What do you think? I think the colour palette and things are quite similar. Some beautiful blues and yellows, and they both have these white borders. I just think it works really well. It had a really good feel about it, a really good energy for me. I'd been also, you'll see over here, the Call of the Morrigan Oracle as well, and I have been working with that a little bit, but not as much as the Old Ways, just because the Call of the Morrigan is a much darker deck, and I just didn't feel that it went with the Robin Wood Tarot. But I think, you know, you'll agree that this is beautiful, isn't it? Works really, really well. So yeah, there, so I'll just put that away. So yeah, I have really, really enjoyed those pairings and working with those decks. And like I said, I'm gonna force myself to put it away for the time being. I'm going to have to look at my list, because I can't think what I'm supposed to be talking about, to be honest. As I said, my concentration and focus has been so appalling. I've not really read any books, and I usually do like to have a fictional book at least on the go. I'd been listening to a few audio books on Spotify, but I just fall asleep when they're on, so I'm not really listening to them. And like I said, I tried to read, these were the 2 tarot books that I was trying to read, and I only got, well, I did read a fair bit of that, I suppose, with my daily pulls, but I didn't get into the cosmic tarot at all. Let's just put these back on the table while I'm talking about other things, so you've got something to look at. It's such a beautiful deck. Are they straight, Julia? Can't see properly. There's a glare coming through the window onto my table. My glasses are dirty. Let me clean my glasses, because I can't see. There we go. So yeah, TV. What have I been watching? Well, I mean, I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV license, so I don't watch any like mainstream TV in the UK. I don't even have Netflix, to be honest, anymore, but I decided to pay and get rid of the ads on YouTube, so I watch YouTube mainly. On TarotTube, Tarot and Witchy channels, I've been really, really enjoying this month. The hashtag February Self-Love Month that Debbie and Carla and Rochelle and Summer and who else? I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are doing it. Tony, I think, at Antoinette Tarot and Jewelry. Yeah, lots of people have been joining in with it. I did one little video, but I've just not really had the energy to, I've not had the energy to practice self-love, which is terrible, isn't it? And I suppose my biggest way to practice self-love has been to rest. So that's what I've been doing. But I've really been enjoying watching what everybody's been up to. I think it's a fantastic idea. It was lovely to see everybody, you know, doing their jars and their intentions and their readings and things. I've really enjoyed it. What else have I enjoyed? I've enjoyed watching Giselle at a Mad Witches channel, looking through her collection of books and decks. That's been really nice. And other than sort of tarot and witchery type channels, I've been watching a lot of sort of urban explorers and ghost hunting channels. There's a channel called Ghost Theory, which is my favourite. They're very genuine, authentic people, and I really enjoy that. A new channel I found is called A Coincidental Life, and it's just basically a man in the UK somewhere that looks after a bit of forest, a bit of woodland, and he does these sort of walking and talking videos where he talks about nature and the woodland that he looks after, and they're just really, really nice videos. I really enjoy looking at the countryside and just hearing his thoughts about things, so I enjoy that. I watch a lot of Coast to Coast because I'm just always fascinated. There's so many brilliant subjects discussed on there. Library of the Untold is another one that I like a lot. He talks about all kinds of metaphysical subjects. And then I like my sort of true crime type videos as well. So I watch a lot of, there's, I think, Disturbin, Daniel Kirsty, Sin and Tonic. Oh, there's loads of them, just loads and loads, isn't there? I can't think of any others. So yeah, that's what I've been doing really a lot of the time, is kind of laying in bed and watching or listening. Sometimes I can't even watch YouTube, my eyes are so tired, so I just lay there and listen to Coast to Coast and, you know, things like that. I've been having to make sure that I have, you know, an afternoon sleep the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I've really not been able to get on with very much at all. I mean, it's still been really, really cold here in the UK, so there's not a lot going on in the garden. I think if it was warmer and I was able to get out in the garden, I'd be feeling incredibly frustrated at the moment. So yeah. So the other deck that I bought and used last month was the Call of the Morrigan, which I'm sure most of you have seen and are aware of. It's an incredibly fierce and powerful deck. I know Nova at Nova Monday Tarot has been doing some fantastic pairings with it. And I've decided that for March, I'm going to try to work with this deck, not that, this deck, and the Old Ways Oracle again, and I'm going to pair them with the Tower of the She, because I haven't, I've had this deck a couple of years, I think, and to be honest, I've not really worked with it at all. It's sort of featured in a few of my videos, sort of VR-y type videos, but I have not worked with it in any real sense of the word. So And it pairs so fantastically well, doesn't it? Especially with this Call of the Morrigan. So that's what I'm going to try and work with throughout March. I don't know how I'm going to get on with the Tower of the She. Some of the cards seem relatable and some of them not. And the same with the Call of the Morrigan. It's like I said, it's quite a fierce combination, isn't it? Maybe I'd be better to go with something more gentle as I'm feeling so terrible, but I don't know. I don't really plan to do a whole lot more than daily card pulls and read the book so that it sort of sticks in my head a little bit if I can. But they do pair so well, don't they? Look at them. The warrior, look, I mean, they really, really pair well. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I plan to work with. And I also have another deck actually that I plan to work with. And if it doesn't go well, I've got a backup plan as well. Because I'm not sure whether fierce is what I need at the moment, but this is what I had planned for myself for March. So we'll just have to really see how I feel. If I don't do it this month, it will be another month, that's for sure. Maybe the fierceness of it will do me good. I don't know. It might be what I need. I'm also starting on Monday. It's a once a month group, an online group. I'm starting a women's support group. It's sort of energy work. It's with a woman who I had some therapy with many years ago, and she does a lot of very somatic, is that the right word? Somatic? Body work. She does a lot of body work, a lot of breathing, a lot of visualizations, a lot of inner child work. And I think there's going to be 6 of us in this online group that we're going to do on Zoom, and it's just an hour and a half on a Monday evening once a month, and I'm really hoping that will be good for me, that will give me some support with what I'm going through at the moment. So I'm looking forward to that. And if there are any sort of really useful exercises or information that comes up in that group, then I'll try and pass that on in my videos. So I think that's that, isn't it? So yeah, the last bit now is just the decks that I bought and that were bought for me in February. So I'll show you the 2 that I bought first. And we've got the Unicorn Tarot and the Psy Cards book and cards. And I just, you know, as many of you'll know, I don't have a great deal of money at the moment because I'm trying to do such a lot with my home and garden. So I don't have a huge amount of money to spend on decks, certainly not, you know, expensive decks. But I just saw this on eBay, and I mean, I'm a big fan of horses. This is created by Suzanne Starr and Liz Hilton. It's US Games. 78 card tarot deck, resplendent with the grace and wonder of the mythical unicorn. A bit of a tatty little book, but that's okay because this is an old deck. This is 1995. Suzanne Starr is an English psychic. This is interesting. I've not heard of her. And there's actually a nice little bit of information in here about each of the cards. It's a bit grotty, isn't it? I think the staples have gone a bit rusty in this little pamphlet type thing. But I don't mind that, as long as the cards are in good order, you know, and they are. Look at the beautiful backs. So yeah, this is, let's put that down. This is the Unicorn Tarot, which I don't think I have ever seen anybody use on YouTube. I've been quite into these sort of more vintagey sort of decks recently. You know, the Hanson Roberts, the Connolly and the Robin Wood. It's nice on, you know, to look on eBay and, you know, to find old decks at good prices. This one was quite reasonable. So yeah, it's a cute deck, isn't it? I'm not sure how I'll get on with it, whether it will read well or whether it will just be part of my collection. I don't know, but I do like the colours of the deck. I like the feel of the deck. Yeah. I'm not sure what I will pair it with. I have got a horse oracle, so we'll see. I may have a look at that and perhaps do a video on that at some point. We'll see. And then the Psy cards, this is something that I've wanted for a long time, and I found it really, really reasonably on eBay. I'm fascinated with archetypes. I've got 2 or 3 really good archetype decks, and I'd fancied this for a long time, and a few days ago I started to write some keywords on these cards, because I thought it annoys me to always have to look at the book when I'm reading, particularly. It's not always something that I want to do. So I started to write on these cards, and I think I only got 5 cards into it, and I realised that my ballpoint pen, you know, a pen like this, I'll show you, a pen like that won't write on these cards. And so I used like a felt tip pen, you know, a beryl pen, and it writes on these cards. Not brilliantly, but it does. But they take almost overnight to dry, so they don't smudge, which is very annoying. So, like I said, what did I do? 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 6 cards. That's all. And I'm now wondering whether I should have done them or shouldn't have done them, whether it was a mistake. But I just thought having these keywords on the cards would mean that I would just be able to use this deck really easily in a reading. So I don't know. And at the moment, I haven't really got the energy or the concentration to sit and do them properly. But I think I probably will finish them at some point. So this is by Nick Hobson. There's 40 cards in this deck, and it draws on Jungian psychology and myths and poetry and folk wisdom. The book explains the meaning of their cards and their relevance to making key decisions for personal development, clinical psychotherapy, even dating new people. But yeah, it's a really, really good book. It has thought prompts, associations, you know, a lot of information about each card. And I just thought if I could write a few keywords on each card, I'd be able to use them without having to look at this book too much. And I think that I will finish writing on them, because there's only 40 cards. It's not like 78 cards, is it? I'll perhaps have to just do like I don't know, see if I can manage 2 or 3 a day or 5 a day or something, and then they'll get done, won't they? Because I am quite excited about using this deck. I think it will be a really good deck to use as like an oracle deck in a reading, you know, to either give a theme for the reading. Yeah, to give a theme for the reading. I don't think it's so much a deck to give advice at the end of a reading, but I think it would be good to give a theme for the reading. So yeah, there's that. And the other 2 decks, one I haven't even opened yet because it only came in the post today, and I'm going to do a proper walkthrough of it. But the other one is this one, the Green Witch Tarot by Anna Mora and Kiri Ostergaard Leonard. That's the art. It's obviously a Llewellyn deck in this big awful box, which I don't have room for. But it's a beautiful, beautiful deck and a lovely book. I'm sure many of you are aware of this. If not, you don't own it yourselves. And this was bought for me by my son's girlfriend. It was a very belated Christmas present. And yeah, I got it a couple of weeks ago. I haven't read with it yet. I haven't done anything with it as yet, but I'm sure that I will because it's beautiful. It's right up my street, actually. A lot of the names of the cards have been changed. Like, you know, instead of the Hermit, we've got the Holly King here, the Crone, the Battle Wagon for the Chariot, the Lovers is the Lady and the Lord, the High Priest is the Hierophant, the Horned God is the Emperor, the Earth Mother, we've got the High Priestess, the Witch instead of the Magician, and the Green Man. So it's a really, really lovely book and beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. As I said, I'm sure that many of you are aware of this deck. It will go really well with lots of my other sort of pagan-y, nature-based decks. I'm looking forward to using this at some point. It's gorgeous, isn't it? What do we have in the minors? We've got Pentacles. Oh, instead of swords, we've got that word that I can never pronounce. I'm not even going to try. We've got wands. Oh, we've got cups. We've got chalices instead of cups. Yeah, it's beautiful, and I'm really, really happy to have been given this deck. Really happy. So as I said, you'll probably see that coming out in my videos at some point. And then this last deck, I have not got out of the box as yet. Let me put this up. It is the lovely Om Tarot by Darshani Suku. 78 card deck and a 208 page guidebook. I have been after this deck for, it's been on my wish list for a couple of years, I think, since I saw it on somebody else's channel ages ago. And I nearly bought it last year because it was actually on Amazon as well as Etsy. And when I went to buy it, the price had gone up hugely, and so I didn't buy it at the time. And then it went out of stock and I was gutted. And my lovely son has found it for me and bought it for me to cheer me up. And I'm not going to open it at the moment. I'm going to open it and do a video on it because I think this is a deck that lots of you would like to have a look at. It's beautiful. It says the lovely Om Tarot features gods and goddesses from the Hindu pantheon and mystical beings from many dimensions. It describes the spiritual journey from a psychic perspective and ties in the chakras and includes the concepts of reincarnation, karma, and the subtle bodies. It's a perfect companion for your yoga practice, emotional healing, and spiritual growth. So yeah, when I feel like it, I don't know when that will be, but when I feel like it, I will unbox this and do a little walkthrough of it, because like I said, I have not seen many people with this deck. In fact, I think only one channel I've seen this deck on, and it is beautiful. So yeah, so there we go. I think that's about it, really. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Hopefully throughout March I'll start to perk up and feel better. There must be some solution to my menopausal misery and my fatigue and my pain. So yeah, hopefully I'll start to feel a bit better. I need to get my night sweats under control, and be able to sleep for longer than an hour or two at a time. Sometimes I feel like I'm going a bit mad with it. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at all my bits and pieces and listening to me waffle on. Do say hello. It'd be lovely to hear from you, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.